all of the things that surrounded segregation, whites only. You can't use this water faucet, this restroom, the counterintelligence program. We got so much going on, right, that was against us. So it just threw me off, right? And like I say, I could have handled it a lot better. I could have handled it a lot better. I could have just said, hey, let's agree to disagree. But my thing was, I was on nation building time. Now, first things first, you cannot build a nation without women and without finances and military, right? So if you got, but those two primarily, you understand what I'm saying? Without women and finances, you cannot build an adequate nation. I mean, we know the men, but let's say we have the men and the resources, right? We need the women. We need the finances. So I'm like, any woman that come in my life at that time had to understand where I was at. They had to understand that all these schools of thought that I had just went through in a short amount of time resonated with me, and it took me back in retrospect to everything my father was trying to teach me when I was 13 and 14 from prison, writing me letters, sending me Khalil Gibran, sending me the Aquarian Gospel of Jesus Christ, the Lost Books of the Bible, sending me books about Toussaint L'Ouverture, Ivan Van Sertima, you understand what I'm saying? Chancellor Williams, George James, with Stolen Legacy. I was getting a lot of these books when I was a young buck. Didn't even understand them. I ran across these books again in the penitentiary. So I was full. I was full. And this is why I was able to elevate and get my rank up on the yard at a young age. So I wasn't trying to hear none she was talking about. To me, she sounded the same way George Jackson mother sounded when he quote unquote cut into his mom and said, look, you raised us with a white bourgeoisie woman's mentality. Something to that effect. I might be paraphrasing. And he was like, I care more about your well-being than your feelings. I want to give you the right information rather than have you out here willy-nilly running around. So that was my mentality. And even when I came home, that was my mentality. So I pushed a lot of people away during that course of that time. You know, and some of them could have been potentially good women for me, but I wasn't trying to hear that if you wasn't no soldier like I needed you to be. So I handled that real aggressively. I said assertively, right? But I pushed baby girl away, and she was a good girl. It's just that her sense of reality was warped, I think, because she was already part of the corporate machine and structure. So I'm pretty sure she go to work, she's seeing all these colleagues who have different ethnicities and races, right? So she's like, well, Karen is like this, and I said Karen, this person is like that, and Jonathan and Inu is like that, right? And this part, but my thing is, I get that, but we talking about the bigger picture and the machine that's running behind people, the machines that's keeping this country propped up. You feel me? We already know that this country is not a virgin when it comes to incest and when it comes to murder and when it comes to rape and everything else you could think of. Now, I still think it's one of the greatest countries in the world. However, at the time when I'm telling her all this, I wasn't trying to hear that bull stuff. You're going to either get on board or you ain't. Needless to say, that was the last time we communicated with each other. Well, I shot her, a reconciliation letter. I won't say an apology letter, but I was trying to reconcile things with her probably some months down the line, because I was always taught that you don't burn bridges and you keep your relationships tight and solid if you can. It was a lesson learned, because after that, I never gave anybody that full throttle the way I believed in things no more, because most people cannot take it. It's not digestible to them. And I had to learn over the years that when you're giving somebody top-notch game and truth, they so offended by it because they've been lied to and bull stuffed over so long that it's like real good food or real rich food, something that their body is foreign to. If you eat something that you're not used to and your body can't digest it well because it hasn't acclimated itself to that, then guess what? You're going to either have the runs, upset stomach, you're going to be vomiting, you're going to have an illness, something like that. If your body not used to something and it rejects it, that's how I learned how game is, or what I call good information. Solid, well-founded, well-researched, fact-based information. You can't give it to everybody raw. You cannot. You can't give it to everybody raw. You end up coming home with something. And in this case, you know, not just her. Like I say, when I came home, there was a lot of young ladies. I was going out with my brother. I wasn't drinking, wasn't smoking. I was chilling. I was on my dean. I was just going out with him to really be like protection, because he was at the River Rock, had the River Rock mad at him a lot of time, because they had a little dance crew called Out Cold Freaks. Anybody remember the River Rock in like 02, 03, 04? And remember them boys used to be jitting and hip rolling and ground working and crybabying and all that stuff? Remember Out Cold Freaks? My little brother was a part of that when Kool-Aid was doing the clubs and stuff. So I was down there. It was packed. I'm down there for bro. But I would see women come and approach me because I'm shining. I'm big as hell. Feel me? I'm like 220 solid. I got my braids down my neck, if y'all can picture that, with my goatee, you know. So I ain't shabby, you know, and I'm fresh as hell. And I got a bankroll. And I got a new whip outside. My thing is, I didn't give a damn about none of what these little slut buckets was talking about, because most of them wanted to drink, wanted somebody to go home with, wanted somebody to finance them, or wanted to get something from you as far as time, attention, money, or some D. And I wasn't with none of that, because I'm focused. And I'm like, baby girl, I can see through you. You don't even know your purpose. You don't even know what your vagina is meant to be used for, right? You look at it as a source of pleasure first, as opposed to something that's supposed to recreate God's image and likeness. So I get to hitting them with that type of stuff, man. You push them away every time. They don't want to hear that shit. They want to get smashed. They want to turn up, a lot of them. Not all of them. You got some dignified women out here, but I wasn't buying it with Kay, and I wasn't buying it with subsequent women. And because of that, I pushed a lot of women away. In retrospect, I kind of think that I'm a firm believer that it was for the best. Because if you can't digest truth, no matter how somebody give it to you, you in the way. Even though I could have handled it better, if you can't digest truth, and we ain't talking about my opinion on things, we talking about these are facts. If you can't digest truth, you are in the way. And I don't care how gorgeous you are. I don't care how fine you are. I don't care how many degrees you got. I don't care how you've been in the gym and you eating right and you taste like mango, apricot, and the best fruit salad. When you drop them drawers, I don't care how delicious you are. If your mind ain't wrapped around reality, then you are in the way of progress and nation building. And that's what happened with Kay. You know, my first ever pen pal when I was in prison. I had a pen pal in the county, but in prison, I blew it, so to speak. I blew that thing because I wasn't trying to hear it. And in this is a prime example to a lot of people, man. Stand your ground. Now, I blew that as far as a relationship, because we could have still had a good relationship and begged to differ. But what I'm saying is, stand your ground based on your belief systems, your tenets, your standards, your oaths and your pledges. If you say you believe in something, don't let nobody come along, no matter how bad they are to you, and sway your thoughts. You know, be forthright, be upright, be independent, be fearless, because it's nation building time for me all the time. I salute y'all on this Good Friday. Up in Detroit, it's cold and it's rainy. And my homeboy AV Smooth got an event he about to perform at for Core Radio, opening for Sada Baby. So I'm about to go check him out, show some love and support. I met this dude in prison 4, 5, 6 years ago. You know what I mean? Solid brother. Now he out barbering, cutting hair. You understand me? So about to go support my bro. Y'all be safe out here, man. I'ma holler at y'all. If not tomorrow, most definitely Monday. Peace and love. OG Kenny. O_G_Kenny at Retired from the Streets TV. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to comment. Subscribe. Tell your cousin to subscribe. Tell your cute auntie to subscribe. Your bow-legged sister to subscribe. You feel me? Your neighbor with the big head. Subscribe to my channel. Show me some love. Because when I get monetized, I'm showing so much love to people, because that's just what I do. You know? Peace and love.